Hi, I'm just going to share some of our facts and motions for Cycle 1, Week 4 for Classical Conversations. This week in Classical Conversations Geography, we have the Hittite Empire, Hattusa, Hatti, Asia Minor, also known as Turkey, Arabian Desert, and Cyprus. So you can see, those are all up there. The Arabian Desert is right there, and Crete or Cyprus is right over here. And that's what we're doing there. I'm not going to go over the timeline since you can see those motions online. Tell me about the 7 wonders of the ancient world in history. At the practicum, they had us do the 7 wonders of the ancient world are the Great Pyramids, the Hanging Garden, the Temple of Artemis, the statue of Zeus. You can also hold a staff. The Mausoleum, Pharaoh's Lighthouse, and the Colossus of Rhodes. We made a road with our hand. The Colossus of Rhodes, he was holding his hand up, so you could do the Colossus of Rhodes if you wanted to add another part. In math, we're doing the 7s and the 8s, which I have right here. And I'm going to do 7s, reach to heaven, so it rhymes. 8, walk the straight. A friend of mine was telling me she put 8, 16, 24, 32 all in a line on the ground, and her kids would jump to each one, walking kind of straight and narrow like down a balance beam. 8, walk the straight. 8 is to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It, and 7 is to the tune of Frere Jacques. For our prepositions this week, we have before, behind, below, beneath, beside. So before, you hold your hand before your body. It's kind of in front of. Before, behind, below, beneath, you put your other hand beneath, and beside. You just run your hands alongside your body. Sorry about that. And I can also send those out if you want the motions. For the noun endings, first declension, we have, for the singular, where are those? The same as last week, and we're actually also going to cover these again in week 15 and 16. We have aw, such as going to the dentist, aw. I, such as your eye. I. Rhymes with palm, ah. So you can say ah, I, ah, and it kind of helps the kids remember, like dentist, point to yourself, point to yourself, point to your palm, open your mouth like you're going to the dentist. That might help. I also printed this out for the plural because it helps you remember that os rhymes with moss, and east rhymes with geese, and arum is just like saying rum, but you take off the b in rumba. So this is something I'm going to use with my kids at home during the week to just help them remember the Latin first declension noun endings. And what are some parts of an animal? Cell, nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuole, mitochondria, cell membrane, cell wall, chloroplast, and Golgi bodies. We're going to use the same story that we used last week, where a cell was nucleus to his cell. And he sat down and he cytoplasm. And he decided to vacuole, and he ran over his toe, and he said, mitochondria. And he sat down and held his cell membrane. But then he thought maybe he could get out. And he put his hands up against the cell wall, and he tried to throw himself against the wall, and he went collapsed. And you say chloroplast really fast, and that will be for that word. And then he sits down because he just hits the wall, and he says, oh, Golgi bodies, OG bodies, because he knows he's stuck. Another thing my friend just showed me, which I really loved, that you can use at home with your kids to teach them about this, is the nucleus is kind of like the king of the cell. It tells the cell what to do. It holds all the material for the cell. You can have a crown that describes your nucleus. The cytoplasm is kind of like a jelly that everything in the cell floats around in, or a gel, and you can use Jello to describe that. The cell membrane, she had plastic wrap, because plastic wrap kind of holds everything in, and you can think of the cell membrane as plastic wrap that holds everything in. A vacuole, she used a water bottle, and it contains water and transports water within the cell. It also removes anything in the cell that shouldn't be there, so you can almost imagine it like a vacuum that sucks something up that shouldn't be there and transports it away. The mitochondria, she used a granola bar, an energy bar, because the mitochondria is the energy powerhouse of the cell. For the cell wall, she used these Lego bricks, and she talks about just building on top of each other. It has kind of a cell wall to protect it in the cell. Chloroplast, she used a handful of greenery just to talk about chlorophyll inside the cell. These chloroplasts are what give the cell the green color. And then the Golgi bodies, they package protein within the cell. So you'd have a shopping bag for packaging proteins and then moving them around the cell or outside of the cell. So I thought that was pretty neat that she had that. With the hands-on science experiment, we're going to be talking about pollution and dropping a small amount of red food coloring into a glass of water to see how it slowly spreads evenly and affects the whole bottle. And even when you add water and it appears to disappear through diffusion, it's still there. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Genesis 1:26 and how God gave us dominion over the earth to subdue it. It is, it's a commandment that we subdue the earth and we take care of it, and I'm going to talk about that, taking care of streams and fields and not dumping trash and poisons into our water that affects everybody. And then we're also going to talk about sin and how sin, you take something like the water and a little bit of sin gets added as the red food coloring, and it kind of permeates through there, and no matter what you do, no matter how much water you add, it's still there. But I'm going to talk about how with Jesus, that sin doesn't have to always affect us, and it can be taken away and made new, and that sort of thing. And that's what I'm going to use for the truth in the science experiment. For fine arts, we're going to be drawing abstracts this week. And ab, the prefix, was shared with me that it means away from. So if you think of abstract, it's kind of away from what's normal. So I'm going to show a realistic elephant, what is real, and I'm going to show some abstract elephants. It's kind of representational of what an elephant is, but not correct. I'm also going to have a bunch of abstract art that I'm bringing in to show the kids, just lots of weird stuff, and talk about how ab means away from the truth, or how it originally is made. The kids are going to trace this elephant onto a piece of paper, and then use a bunch of cookie cutters or different shapes to draw over the elephant, and then they color it all different colors, and it ends up looking very abstract and strange. So that will be for our art project. And I'm going to talk about how our pastor made a really good reference to knowing how something is supposed to be versus a counterfeit of it, or a representation of it. He was talking about bills and how when they teach someone what a counterfeit bill looks like, they don't have them look at something that isn't correct, or something that looks a little weird, or something that maybe that's a elephant, I'm not sure. They actually have them study what is true, what a true bill looks like, what a true elephant looks like. That way you know the truth from the counterfeit, or the truth from the abstract. And I thought that was kind of an interesting little play on it that I might bring into art this week. So that's all I can think of that I'm going to be using, and if you have any ideas, leave them on the page or email me at caitlinstokes@mac.com, and I'm going to leave a link to my other videos because I ended up, no.